And Soul, let's see this incredible run.
Right, yes. Hi, hello. Hopefully I'm coming through as well. If not, that's gonna be awkward, but I'm gonna assume I am. So hello and welcome. I am Bean Queen Soul, and this is Metroid Zero Mission. It is a remake of the original game. In fact, you can see just right there, hey, there's the original game, as an option for reasons. But yeah, so this is 100% normal. Let's just go ahead and get into it. So I'm going to, we'll start this in 3, 2, 1, go. And Samus is gonna have like a little bit where she comes on down, does a little bit of a monologue. In the meantime, if my Tom's buddy would like to do a little introduction.
Hey, I'm Motoss. I don't speedrun this game, but I do love Metroid, and I just want to point out the category 100% normal. This is one of the first Metroid games that had a difficulty, and hard difficulty actually changes the route quite a bit for a few reasons, but you're going to see some strats here in normal that cannot be done in hard because you would die.
Oh yeah, and there's also some items that you actually get differently. For example, probably the big one is Lawn Beam. Pretty much like if you play this thing casually, it's like the first item you grab. It's the first item the game basically is trying to lead you towards. In fact, you'll see it right now with this little marker here. It's like, oh yeah, you should go here. This looks important. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that. Funny enough, Lawn Beam is actually one of the last items we get in like the main areas. We honestly don't need it. All it really does for us is just some extra range, a little bit of extra power, but honestly, again, we don't really need it right now. In hard mode, that's very different. Hard mode, you actually need it like right away, because otherwise you can't really deal with the raw pies, and then you just kind of die to the raw pies, and it's not a fun time. As Motoss is just kind of sad. But for now, though, what we're doing is we're going to be going on down. We're going to be getting a couple of early items, namely missiles, because we need those pretty much right away. They will let us do a lot of our damage. You saw that ground shaking there. Don't worry about it. It's fine. There's nothing there. I'm sure there's nothing. We're just in a weird place.
There's definitely not any sort of acid.
Yeah, see, there's going to be nothing there. Wait a way out, and oh no, there's something there. Hold on. Okay, I'm glad that didn't actually. Okay, I'm glad both those didn't miss. That would have been unfortunate. Okay, we're dead. Yeah, so it's important I get that down first try, because otherwise it's going to be very awkward, and I have to go to a different place entirely to get it. But that gives us Charge Beam. Does two things. One, it lets us charge our beam, as you'd expect. The other thing is this is basically what is called the charge attack. So if I hold this and jump into an enemy, I do kind of a soft version of the screw attack we'll get later, and it'll just let us get through certain enemies like these rocks right here, which are just kind of in our way. Just jump into it and we're safe. And that one's gonna bump into me because reasons. Again, don't worry about it. But as for this category, there's a reason we're going to be getting everything, because, well... Okay, that actually worked out. I was supposed to do a charge shot there, but... Nope. There we go. And hopefully these other two hives are going to be nice to me. So, I'm going to just trap them and get... Oh, I don't like any of that. I'm going to just kind of play it safe. And that's why we're going to play it safe.
Yeah, especially here in the early game, both ammo and energy management.
Yeah, and
really
health's
important.
about to be very, very tricky. I'm just going to play this very safe so I don't die. Okay, that one's down at least. And now we can do this one. Because right now, if I die, I have to start everything over, and that would be incredibly awkward for everybody involved. Granted, I am playing this on Switch Online, so I could just rewind, but that would be very unprofessional, and I'd rather not do that if I don't have to. Thankfully, we don't. We're fine now. We did some extra missiles finally, and we're going to get our first energy tank of the run, so that'll also fully heal me, thankfully, and that'll make things a lot nicer going forward.
Yeah, we were talking before the run, and the Switch Online version of this game has definitely made it a lot more accessible, because the original GBA cart is somewhat of a hard find today.
Yeah, and if you do find it, it's unfortunately a little on the expensive side these days. So, kind of, honestly, I'm very thankful for these versions of System because it definitely has allowed me to actually run both this and Fusion. And I can also tell you both of them are a good time. Anyways, we have bombs now, so that means a few things. One, we can break more blocks, and two, more importantly, now we can also bomb jump once we actually get to show that off.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm not mistaken, there's some
there
coming up
is.
here soon, right?
Also, you can jump pretty much infinitely as long as you maintain good timing. There is a reason. There are certain, we'll just say there are certain videos that exist that talk about doing infinites. Oh, that one decided it didn't want to draw me. Oh, there was one more. That one just hid in the corner. I actually had the right idea there. Just, what if I hide? Then she can't get me. Unfortunately, I kind of have to get rid of all of them, so the door won't open, and that will be a problem. But we're just about done in Brinstar for the moment, so right now I'm going to be getting a couple more items on the way out. I don't know if there's any messages or not, but if this would be a decent time to do some potential messages, plugs, what have you.
Soul, I want to welcome in some raiders that just came in and welcome other friends. If you are just joining us, you are watching Prevent-A-Thon 6, and we are here right until the end of Sunday in support of Little Warriors. So Prevent-A-Thon 6 is in support of Little Warriors, a Canadian-based charity. Your donations are processed in Canadian dollars. If you live in a different country, your donations will automatically be converted for you. So if you want to see a rate of exchange for US dollars or British pounds, you can type !rate in the chat.
Yeah,
We also still have that bid war
No,
open.
go on.
Oh, I'm
You're
sorry. You're the
go.
star. You go. Okay. We have a bid war open for this game. It will be the NARPAS SWORD incentive. Now, what that is, it's a 6 to 10 minute run where you play the game inside the game with the NARPAS SWORD password, and you get infinite health and missiles, go straight to the end of the game. It's going to be super fun to watch. So get those donations in. We're still got a little bit to go.
Yeah, honestly, it'll
Back
be
to you, Sol.
pretty fun time. That pretty much this run is very much we're gonna be getting all the things. That run is get none of the things. We're just gonna be going straight to the end because we don't need anything. It is honestly kind of a silly run. Also, a run I ended up learning last minute as an incentive for a different event.
Yeah, and Soul mentioned we're done in Brinstar for now, but this is 100%. So just due to needing things like the gravity suit, the speed booster, the spring ball, this game has like some of the most deviously hidden items in the Metroid series. So we're gonna have to do like a wrap up near the end of the game of a lot of these areas, including coming up is the Kraid area.
Oh, this is the Kraid area. So
unfortunately, we have to go. Yeah, we have to go all the way back in. So.
Yeah, luckily the cleanup phase in this is actually pretty on the. It's actually kind of short compared to Fusion. Fusion's honestly the even more devious, if I'm being honest.
Yeah, some of the speed balls, especially, are very devious.
Yeah, this is also the game that introduced effectively this. Speedball. Speedball, or as it's also been known as the ball spark. It's what it sounds like. Imagine a shine spark, and it's a ball. There we go. Not the best timing, though. Not the best timing, but at least the dot is up. That's good enough. And unfortunately...
Yeah, because the game intends for you to have high jump boots.
There's an item called the Power Grip, and it lets you grab ledges.
Oh, we won't be getting that.
No, we're doing that after we get out of here. Oh, that was a bad input on my part.
These diagonal balls.
They are. There's only, thankfully, there's only a couple of them that I absolutely have to do in the run, but they are rough sometimes. Easily the one thing that can cost you a bunch of time for various reasons. There's a lot of moving parts in them. And I am going to be taking a safety save here really soon because we have a boss coming up that, if I mess it up too badly, could lead into a death. And as you might expect, I haven't saved yet. And if I died there, you go back to your last checkpoint, the last save you made. If you didn't make one, that means you go back to the very start of the game. Obviously, as you might expect, that is not marathon safe, so we don't do it.
Yeah, we can see the E-tank that Soul just picked up is really going to help out in this fight because of the
Ooh, that was
required,
unfortunate.
Damage you have to take.
Gonna need an extra cycle. There we go. A little bit slow on my missiles that time. By the way, that is way harder than it looks because here's the thing with that. So this lava is basically like water, so it's very hard to move around in it. And I have to do two single wall jumps with one of those on kind of like the corner of that block. And it is surprisingly difficult to actually do that. So it is, I'll be honest, I made that look way easier than it actually is. I have definitely had struggles doing that. It's single wall jumps in general are kind of difficult to do in this game. They're really fun. There's a lot of fun movement in this game, but it is not the easiest, especially if you're starting out.
I wanted to point out why you were shooting those blocks too. Still no long beam.
But yeah, also long beam would have made that way nicer. Again, we don't need it. We're fine. Mostly.
And that water physics is going to persist for a lot of the game too, because you get the gravity suit very late in this game.
Yeah, we don't get down until basically in the end of the game, pretty much. But honestly, that's kind of the worst of it right there. Alright, let's see about this one. Oh, that was unfortunate. That was really good to start, and then that happened. Okay, I have a plan B.
Yeah, this is another one where the developers put those destructible blocks there just to make it harder.
Yeah,
for you to do
they really expected you to go get power grip first. Like what they want you to do is go to Norfair, go back to Criteria, the top site area, kind of like in Super Metroid, and get power grip, and then come back here. And to be fair, if you have that, your life is way easier because you can do all of this. You can like grab that ledge, no problem. Instead of, having to do it this way.
Let me see the missile count too here. Those enemies both had to die to open that door. So if Soul had come in here with not enough ammo,
you need at least 20 missiles going in. In fact, I actually went in with slightly under what I needed. So I got very lucky.
It's calculator risk.
Yeah, what I should have done in that situation was actually farm at least one drop. And that was a little bit unfortunate, but that's okay. Exactly enough. It's like you go to the toll booth, you got perfect change. It's fine. In fact, they love it when you have perfect change. They don't have to worry about, giving you any back. So be like Samus Aran. Have perfect change. Have perfect amounts on hand, and/or give that to little warriors because they could use it.
Yeah, and we're passing here some these like big purple blocks with the symbols on them are another feature of this game that's not really in any other Metroid game, where you're kind of hard limited because they do not activate until you've actually gotten to a certain point in the game.
And in fact, you'll see the first of these. So these are the three items that the game will just say your suit can't use them. They're incompatible, and that's that. They are actually the plasma beam, gravity suit, and space jump. And when we get the fully powered suit late into the run, we'll be able to actually use those. But until then, all they're good for is breaking those blocks. But they will be very important later. They are a surprise tool. They are a very useful tool.
Yeah, but it's basically the game's way of like hard gating to force you to go to that Chozo statue no matter
Yeah,
what.
without it, you can't hit the blocks, and you will need to hit them. So, in fact, usually the room you go into won't let you out until you did it. So, like, one way or another, you are required. Anyways, we're finally coming up to Trade here, and the best way to deal with Trade is to just give him his daily iron supplement. So, here's a bunch of missiles. Oop, he didn't like those. Ah, that's unfortunate. That's really unfortunate. That's fine. Yeah, sometimes trade is a little uncooperative. You know how it is trying to, you know how it is when you try to give your pets medicine. They don't want to take it. You gotta like wrap it in something.
Yeah, we didn't pack enough lunch meat.
Yeah, honestly, it's kind of hard to. I mean, look at him. Look at him. He's a growing whatever the heck trade is.
And here we go. The best part about Zero Mission is how early we get speed boosted.
By the way, I did apparently we got $300, so that's really good to see. In fact,
We did.
In fact, this is the time for it.
Yeah, we're at $300.
Yeah, so I'm going to be working my way out of here. This is a good time for any messages while I do that.
Sounds good. Thank you so much. So as I just mentioned, we are at 301 Canadian dollars. I know that's super, super specific, but getting us there is a $25 donation from Cubs Rule 21, who says, "Oh my God, a talking Eevee?" And that $25 went towards the LMMotoss sword or LARPAS sword incentive.
Sword.
We are $35. Oh, yeah. I know. I'm looking at Eevee and thinking Pokemon, and so yeah. Now I'm gonna call it LMMotoss sword, and I'm not sorry. But we are $35 towards the $50 incentive. This does need to be met before the end of the run, and time is flying so fast, so you don't want to wait. You want to get in on that like right now.
Yeah, we got time, but it'll creep up before you know it. Anyways, we do have a bit of a cutscene here because unfortunately these can't be skipped. But short version, you know how back in Smash, Sakura is like, oh yeah, Ridley's too big. Yeah, Ridley is actually too big for this whatever the heck for this pod. Just has to scrunch up to sit in it at all. It's pronounced LMMotoss sword. Yeah, you know what? How are we supposed to pronounce it? Enter in your donations. Wrong answers only, please, though.
Yes, please educate me and everyone else here. I would like to know how to properly pronounce that.
In the meantime, we do have 2 items we're going to be grabbing here. And there we go, we're done. Now we're just going to make our way over to Norfair because we don't really need to do anything else here. That was kind of it. We got those missiles, grab the energy, and then we're done here for now until we actually have to clean it up proper. So I'm just gonna try to push it over there. Oh, that was, you know, it's fine.
In chat, you heard Soul mentioning Norfair, which you may recognize as the hot area of Metroid games, and there's no Variasuit yet.
Also, that was a little unfortunate on my part. I was trying to get Speed Booster here because there's a whole Shine Spark chain to do. It's really fun, really cool to see. And if you don't get it, you do the walk of shame. And unfortunately, I had to do the walk of shame. It's fine. It happens. Also, what's this weird brain with an eye? I haven't seen you before. Whatever case, clearly she has her eye on us.
I think it's an Aurora unit.
Well, that's a problem. Yeah, I say we were going to Norfair. Admittedly, I kind of lied a little bit. We're actually going to Criteria first. Because we done a lot to do in Norfair, and it's going to be way easier once we do what we got to do here.
Yeah, it's finally time for Power Grip, which the game wanted us to get like 3 major item pickups to go.
It really wanted us to have it, and going forward is actually going to be kinda necessary. Even if it wasn't, eventually we're gonna have to get it anyways, because, you know, this is 100%, and that means we grab everything. Because every item in this game counts towards percentage. So every expansion we did, every item we did, including these 3 unknown items, they all count. There will be no shenanigans here. We are definitely grabbing everything. No stones gonna be left unturned. No suits gonna be left unacquired. And we're gonna break this, and then we're gonna set up a bit of a chain here. Hopefully I did this first try. Uh-oh, that didn't go quite the height. What I did not get the height I needed. I don't know what I was trying to say there. But we got it in the end. We're fine.
Yeah, this spark chain is pretty cool.
It's also very handy because it gives us our first super missiles, and those will be very good. So each one of those counts as 5 standards, and they break green doors as well as certain blocks, like pretty much every other item in the game does. We're gonna be trying to get 10 of those by the time we get to Ridley. Because very conveniently, Ridley dies in 10 of those. There's the exact change thing again. And also there's Power Grip, which would have been really nice to have a lot, like 10 minutes ago.
Yeah, super missile ammo count is pretty important for basically the whole rest of the run. Not just for, like, because sometimes you need them, but having to shoot 5 missiles into an enemy that you could have killed on 1 super missile is very time-consuming.
It is, and the final boss especially, because the final boss, as long as we don't mess up on our percentage, will require 17 of those. If I mess up on it, it requires, like, 5.
Yeah, lucky with 100% because you know, you want to pick up all the items anyways. You have a little more wiggle room on ammo than some of the other categories do, but it's still tight in these early parts before you've got your item completion up.
Yeah, the early game is honestly the most stressful part, and in fact we're actually coming up on the other safety save I tend to do in this run for these events, because we have a whole sequence after I get high jump. And if I mess up there, it is also very much a Samus dies moment. So we don't want that. So we're gonna play it safe. We're gonna save here just in case anything goes wrong. Ideally it shouldn't, but we don't want to take that chance for good reason. And
yeah, you saw Soul go backwards there. That's because she wants a shot spark here, and you need the extra
I didn't
distance.
quite have it, which is fine. It happens. Yeah, this room has like a whole sequence. We're never doing this room in the intended fashion. Just straight up, just like what it wants you to do is like go like up and around a whole bunch of stuff, and you just speed boost through it. So we just do that. It's much nicer. And
yes, this game is really nice in the way it lets you store your spark and then use it again.
Yeah, and hopefully we get this part's the easy part. It's part 2 that I'm more worried about.
Just want to point out we're in a heat room, no Various suit, constant damage.
So we gotta be very careful. Not to mention, if you thought it was bad here, then you see this and you're like, oh, I better not mess up any of those jumps ever. I have somehow not messed up any of those jumps in any run of this game yet. I'm sure it will happen eventually, and then I'm gonna panic when it happens.
Yeah, for anyone who's not familiar with how like Metroid game damage works, acid, which is what was in that room, deals double the damage that lava does.
Yeah, the only thing that stops damage from that is gravity suit, which we're not gonna have anytime soon. So yeah, obviously it's a little bit scary. Thankfully, I did that one first try, so that one wasn't too bad. But now we have this room, and this section's about to be very, very scary. So first of all, we're gonna get this. That gives us high jump. That gives us spring slash jump ball, depending on how early you got into the series. And then we're going to heal, because we are going to need every bit of that health. But you see that those 4 taints, yeah, that is enough for like a little bit of error.
Yeah, you are not supposed to be
not even close. And I'm gonna do a very simple way of doing this, just to ensure I get through this without too much of a problem here. And good thing I did, because I need to get rid of that anyways. Yep.
Watch the energy tanks counting down.
Okay, we should be fine now.
Still no long beam to get rid of these enemies.
Yeah, still no
easier.
long beam. By the way, but we have supers, and now we can kill those and two of those instead. Way nicer. Thankfully, though, we are through the worst of it now. Almost. We do have one more room that could be a little bad, and it's mostly just this one. It's just be careful. But nothing else to it. Just be careful. Oh, that's fine. And for our efforts, we get screw attack incredibly early, and basically nothing's really a threat anymore. We're like actually done with most of any really long heated rooms aside from like one, and that one isn't really that bad by comparison.
Yeah, it's bizarre to this is one of the Metroid games where you get screw attack before you get space jump, so you can kind of use it a lot to your advantage. We don't have to pseudo charge stack anymore.
We just jump and things are gone, just like that. It's very nice, and also the theme is mean. It's like, oh, that's lava, that's dangerous. Yeah, it's fake. There's nothing there. It just wanted you to panic for a second, as it does. Ooh, I'm gonna just kind of do this. There it is. A little unfortunate, but we got plenty of help. We're fine. But while I am doing all of this, if there are any messages or donations, this would be a good time, as I'm just going through the Dorfair shopping trip. And if not, that is also fine too. We're just going to keep going along. Also, a lot of growth in this room. There are things we'll be dealing with. In fact, we are finally going to start seeing beam upgrades. Like I know it's been a while. We've had nothing, no long beam, as you've seen. Don't worry, we have a solution. We have weight beam now. So upside, our beam can now go through walls. That's it. That's all it does. But it is useful.
Yeah, and it will pass through enemies as well, which is nice.
It does not actually pass through enemies. That's plasma beam, which we'll get later.
Ooh.
Also, this room is no problem. If you lose like 46 health, that's it. And we're done. So we have these two worms. We'll get through them real quick. And this one's a little bit awkward. You have to bomb it to get through that one. And that's kind of it. That's the fight. Not a whole lot to really note, otherwise they're just kind of there. But now we can pass through.
Yeah. The game has kind of been signposting that there's like something big and bad here grabbing the regular enemies. That's gonna be an upcoming boss.
Yeah, it's a whole thing. And also, if you go through in the search, by the way, make sure you hit that block. Very important. If you don't hit that block, you will be sad later and have to go through things that you don't want to have to go through. Don't ask me how I know this. But yeah, now we're actually on top, like basically on top side. We're gonna. Oops, that's fine. I said that's fine. And now we have ice. Now we can freeze things. This will actually be very handy once it is relevant, but right now it's not inherently gonna do much. It's just a thing we have to grab, but it is important once we get into Ridley's lair. There are enemies who actually will have to freeze and to do certain things.
Hey, it's now a good time to jump in. Awesome, thank you so much. We have $15 from LMMotoss Sword. LMMotoss Sword says, everyone loves to ask how LMMotoss is doing, but no one ever asks about LMMotoss Sword. No, tisk tisk. You're right. But you know what? With that, we will be able to ask about LMMotoss Sword, because with that donation, we have met the incentive. We are going to see the run inside the run at the end of this run. Thank you so much for everyone who has donated so far. I'm very excited to see even more Metroid.
Don't worry, you'll now see the story of NARPAS SWORD, the greatest Glorpo sounding name of all time.
We put a game inside your game so you could game while you game.
Yeah, we heard you like speedrun, so we put a speedrun inside your speedrun so you just speedrun, speed while you speed. I don't know why I went there with that, but you know what, it's fine. And in fact, we're actually pretty much done with Warfare at this point. But we have this one last thing here. This is the motto. Oh, that was actually closer than I thought it was. But yeah, we have the...
This is where Ice Beam comes in handy, keeping this
yeah, so...
away.
Pretty much it does releases these weird spore looking things, and we're just trying to break it up. By the way, that Ripper is actually immune to everything but that falling on top of it. I'm sure it won't come back up.
The legend of the invincible Ripper.
Yeah, the legend of it, and then the Yamato that crushes it. By the way, Ridley's gonna be very happy here because Ridley finally gets to stretch for the first time in probably hours. Listen to me, so happy that he can finally stretch. Anyways, I forgot a thing, so I'm going back up.
The sounds of draconian joy.
Yeah, you know, streaming for joy as you do. But yeah, for some reason this whole thing opened up, and that's disconcerting. I'm sure it's nothing.
Wow, what made that tunnel?
Anyway, this is the motto. That's a motto. Understandably, especially if this is your first, if you're playing this for the first time, your response is probably probably calls for fire to some capacity. I know it did for me.
Yeah, it's really satisfying to run down that hill shooting supers.
It is. It's honestly a really neat strat for that rune. Oh yeah, that's. I could have. I don't know why. Okay, it's fine. You know what? Sometimes the name mat's weird. This is also the one area that we full clear immediately. Oh, I actually dropped the ledge. I thought I didn't. But yeah, another reason that we did everything that we have here is explicitly so we can get everything first time we're here. We don't have to worry about coming back for cleanup. And also we're gonna have our one glitch for the run as a trait. So I'm gonna drop down here. Perfect. And that's the whole thing. So the short version is, if you freeze two enemies on top of each other like that, you Samus for some reason just kind of goes back to like their spawn height. So it puts us underneath some speed booster blocks.
Yeah, we weren't supposed to be in the heat rooms early. We definitely aren't supposed to be here.
Yeah, the way you're supposed to be here is way more involved. And we've just decided, yeah, we're not doing it that way. But we've just decided, nah.
Yeah, and that
Also,
that saves you from coming all the way down here just for that one pickup. Oh,
yeah, there's the map room. It gives us the map. We noticing well enough that we don't need it. Also, that was the speed boost I was supposed to get. That's fine.
But check out 100% map category sometime.
I'm sure that's a thing. I'm pretty sure I've seen that as a thing, but I've never actually looked at a run of it. But yeah, we do that just so we can get through the rest of this room, and then we're gonna set up that whole thing a second time. Oop, did it too late. The combination of too late, sometimes my controller does not like the down input, so things happen.
Hey, can I jump in with
Definitely.
an announcement? Awesome. We have a new incentive that just opened up. This incentive is for Time Spinner. Now that run is coming closer to the end of the night, but we have a big push here, big incentive, big goals, and I am certain that we can meet them. Now, this incentive is going to randomize all of the bosses. And it matters most for the ones necessary to win the game, but they'll randomize all the bosses. And boss scaling will be turned on, so bosses will become more difficult the further into the game they are. This is going to be super interesting. I'd love to see it. Also, if we hit that incentive, it is going to bring us to over $400 raised. So exclamation point donate in the chat will bring you to the link to donate. Everything is in support of Little Warriors.
Yeah, by the way, I made those rooms look very easy. They are not.
I was about to say that speed booster room was
so that first room is just very tricky because you have like everything crumbling around you as you try to get across. The other room is a 4-frame window to actually get that jump. I typically, because I'm primarily a Kirby speedrunner, I tend to call that the Kirby mix room because mixes in that series work the same way. They're basically 4-frame windows in most entries.
Doing that the speed charge jump there is the
yeah,
intended
it's
way
actually
to do it,
intended. That is how they want you doing it. So yes, they actually just thought a 4-frame jump was actually okay. they thought that was yeah, that shouldn't be too bad for people to get. It is surprisingly difficult to actually get that. I've definitely had runs where I've taken multiple attempts to get that one expansion because it just takes a bit. Sometimes because a lot of times you'll get it like a little too early or a little too late, and you usually tell from how many blocks you've broken.
Yeah, it seems like their like philosophy when they made this game was like, if you can repeat the trick freely, then they just didn't care how hard they made it. They only cared if something stops you from like redoing it.
Side of that though is the game is very freeform as a result. Like you can, as long as you can, if there's a way for you to get there, you can probably do it. Like I've seen what low percent runs of this game look like, and they are really interesting to watch. Also very difficult. You grab like 9 items. And that's it.
There's the last of the unknown items.
Yeah, 3 of those are the unknown items. But we're gonna get Sam, would you like to grab that, please?
That E-Tank did not want to get picked up.
That E-Tank decided it wasn't coming with me for a second. But But yeah, we'll grab that first before we heal, because that way we're at full health. And, oh, there's Ridley. How's he doing? Oh.
Goodbye, Ridley.
Yeah, well, like I said, Ridley doesn't last terribly long. just kind of comes in, screams a bit, takes 10 supers, and then goes out the way he came in, screaming.
And they do nicely give you some areas to get supers again after this, because we're now empty.
Yeah, there's actually a room like right here that can give us a ton of them, and it gave us a few. It gave us 6. Honestly, I really only need 1. Because worst case, I can take the heal after we get long beam and replenish them there.
Yeah, Super Metroid has a similar room. They call it Speedway in both games.
Oh, I feel like I might know what room that is. I haven't played Super in a hot minute though.
Yeah, the Zero Mission community has not been as active as the Super Metroid community in like naming every single room like they did.
Say that to the people at Randovania with Fusion, because every room in Fusion has a name. Every last one of them. Case in point, Zasabi Speedway. I think one of them's called. But that's it. That's Ridley. We don't have to worry about anything else there. It's done. In fact, we're actually going to be making our way back up to Brentstar, because we don't really do anything north here right now. Oh, I don't know why I did that.
And this is where you would normally be trying to pick up the various suits.
This is actually like our cleanup bit for Brentstar, so this is about the time where we'll be actually buffering with stuff like that, yes. Obviously, if you know what you're doing, you can get that way earlier, but we're speedrunners, and that, unfortunately, that is kind of slow. So instead, we're gonna just jump up here, get to the safe room. I'm gonna kind of bump into the door so I don't accidentally speed boost in a bad spot. And then we're just gonna get back up here. And there we are, we're back in Brentstar, and it's time to clean up this section. We're just gonna be grabbing a few things, so if there's any messages at the moment, this is a good time for them.
Thank you so much. I just want to let everyone who is here know that we are here right until the end of Sunday, raising money for Little Warriors. Little Warriors says that this is more than a mission, it's a movement. Warrior power lives in the courage of a child beginning to heal and in the strength of people like you who walk beside them. Together, that power is unstoppable.
Yeah, by the way, that is one of the few mandatory boss parts in this entire run, and actually a mandatory one for the game itself, because that is also the intended solution to get that one. Also got very lucky with drops.
Absolutely evil.
Yeah, I was very lucky with drops, and I happened to get the supers that I needed, so I won't have to actually replenish anything at this point. But I do need to make my way up. I do need to make my way up for a couple more expansions.
Supers are going to be very important here once she hits Torian, because we want to kill each Metroid with a super. It's way faster.
Yeah, Metroids in this game die to either being frozen and then 5 standards or 1 super. So if we can use supers, we definitely want to use them if we can, because otherwise it's a little bit slower. And I'm going to get rid of this enemy. For a little too much of that. That's fine. We'll just wait a second. Oh, okay. That's a little bit of a weird jump there, but that's okay. That's fine. It happens. We'll just try it again. And that enemy decided it wanted to have fun. It's, you know what? That's fine. They didn't have a little bit of a snack as a treat. It's okay. Just like these things are gonna have a little bit of a snack, because I need them to make these decay, and there we go. They're the only way those go down. There is no way for me to actually physically get rid of those myself. So sadly, I do actually need them for that. Anyway, this is the room where you get Mario suit. Or rather, the room before the room that you did it in. Anyways, there's our E-Tank, and we're just gonna go. We're good.
But I thought we were going to pick up all of the items. No suit left behind, you said that.
Anyways.
More on this later, chat.
Yeah, there is actually a reason for this, and it's honestly kind of humorous. For now, don't worry about it. That's for me to worry about. But we have 2 more items written in here. We got 1 more missile tank that we need. That'll get us to 200, and we do have lawn beam because we did kind of, you know, leave that behind. But the game was like, hey, go to this thing, and we just kind of looked at it and went, nah, we're good here. But no, unfortunately, we do actually need to get it. So this is kind of a, well, we don't really have any better place to get it in, and it's right on the way to Turian, so it kind of works out.
Turian, the traditional final zone of Metroid games, so
Yeah.
I'm noticing your item count is not at 100%.
Yeah, unfortunately, the game does have a way of kind of revealing, like, yeah, you might not be done, actually. But there's lawn beam. Our beam is one now. That's it. That's the effect. Now it goes across the screen. To be fair, lawn beam is actually very useful, and like I said, in hard mode, you actually get it at the intended point because you actually need it. If you don't have it, you can't get through. You actually can't get through the rock nests early. Or you can, but it's way harder, and they do more damage, so you are very likely to die. Anyways, so this is Turian. We have a lot of Metroids. They're friendly. They want to hug you.
And they're fast.
Yeah, look at that space pirate. They're very happy. They're so.
Watch the super missile count, chat.
Yep. Yeah, you'll notice I have as many of them as I can, or almost. Like, I could have replenished to 1, but honestly, it's not worth it. Also, I love I'm not the only one who has also thought of the Lawn Man Taffy thing with Lawn Beam. Thank you. Unfortunately, we're not getting good luck on super drops right now, so we might end up having to switch to standard ones before long. Because I want...
Unfortunately, getting regular missile drops when your missiles are already full.
Okay, there we go. That actually worked out for us. But yeah, I want to keep 4 in hand no matter what. So if I'm down to 4 less, I'm going to not be using them. Just because I do want those 4 from Upper Brain. And since we are down to 4, I'm going to not be using those right now. And we'll see if the game decides I get more of them.
Can I jump in to make an announcement?
Yes, definitely.
Awesome, thank you. I wanted to tell chat about one of the amazing programs that Little Warriors offers. Offered in person and online by Little Warriors, Prevent-A is a free, evidence-based educational workshop developed in Canada in conjunction with researchers at the University of Alberta. Prevent-A educates and empowers adults to take action and help prevent and respond to child sexual abuse. To learn more, go to littlewarriors.ca/prevent-it or type !prevent in chat.
Also, I like how this thing gave me a super at the very end. When I'm not going to be using it right now, because for what's coming up, I actually want standards. Supers are honestly kind of a waste. Yeah,
and astute chatters may have seen how fast you're switching between the regular beam and the regular missiles once you weren't using supers on the Metroids. How are you doing that? Because in other Metroid games, you'd have to select the super missile and then go to nothing again.
Yeah, so in this game, select actually changes that over. Although since I am playing this on NSO, I'm actually also just using the X button. That's how I got it mapped. Yeah, I was trying to look a bad spot for those. It's fine.
Yeah, there's a bad rink there.
Yeah, that's okay. And there we go. That's why I want 4, because I can do a cadence of 4 standards and 1 super. Because every 5 hits, Upper Brain will actually just kind of will fire a wave at me. So I can kind of exploit that and do the equivalent of 9 missiles worth of damage instead of 5. And that does take her down way. Oh jeez, I am okay. What is going on with my movement right now? Just gonna play this safe. It's fine.
Chatters may have also noticed that during the Mother Brain, like the counter cutscene sequence, you were able to charge up a speed booster even though you weren't actually moving anywhere.
Yeah, for some reason, the game just lets you do that. I don't know why. I've never figured out a reason for it other than just, it doesn't count you as running into a wall, so it lets you charge it up. Also, I see a remark about save the animals, wrong game. And I know what you're thinking as soon as you see this. Well, you onto the gunship. That's it. It's over. Time. Yeah. About that. You'll see. By the way, you know how it's like when you get home, you take off whatever you need to take off, and then suddenly Warp calls you back in. There you go.
It's the worst.
That's what's happened. That's basically what's happened. We took off the power suit, and then all of a sudden, oh no, we're being attacked.
That's worse than a Teams chime.
I have never heard the Teams chime, and I'm now afraid.
I'm jealous. I wish I could say I've never heard the Teams chime. Chat, what is the chime or notification that haunts your dreams?
I mean, I guess for me, it might be the Discord sound, but I have sounds turned off usually. But yeah, pretty much this remake also adds some stuff on top of things. And the short version is the actual lore of what's going on here is pretty much Samus's confidence got shaken by that ambush, and so she currently cannot go back into the power suit. And thus you have to do a whole stealth segment that ultimately leads you to what is called the God of War to test your resolve and actually give you the fully powered suit. And we're going to try to jump over that. Ooh, nice jump.
Yes, nice map skip.
Yeah, that map skip's a little bit harder to get. If you don't get it, it's kind of like, yeah, you lose a few seconds, whatever, it's fine. And otherwise, we basically just have a stealth segment. We can't actually hurt these. Ooh, that was really unfortunate. But yeah, we can't hurt these space pirates. All we have is, as Samus herself has said, a rather useless pistol. All it can do is stun them. So pretty much this whole sequence is meant to be just kind of like get around like trip wires like this so we don't get caught. Try to just basically objective survive. That is the best way to describe this. It is objective survive.
Yeah, now that Samus has lost the gunship, which no one had ever seen before, so it's met its
yeah, it's met its rather untimely end.
That has offered some of the sounds and notifications that haunt them forever. So Opera Morale says the window smashing sound that Susie used to make for their errors nearly pulled a computer off the desk one night while it went off half asleep.
Oh no.
Yeah. Also, Dan the VP wants to know if pet making weird sound at 2 a.m. counts,
Yes.
and I say, oh yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah, that counts. Like you're trying to sleep and all you hear is yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
You're not sure why you're hearing it, but you're hearing it, and that's not a good thing.
Yeah. No, doesn't matter. You know that something's about to go down that you don't want to wake up for, but you have to wake up for it. Because it's going to be worse if you don't.
Yeah. Oh, also, see, you remarked about a nightmare last night that a Discord notification stopped working.
I did, yeah. It was like, I woke up this morning just in a panic. Oh my god, I missed my host shift. My Discord notification stopped working. So I guess haunted in reverse.
No.
Luckily,
By the way,
they are working in a minute.
Soul is making this look very easy.
It is not.
Pirates, any mess ups here will cause pirates to run in, and they deal an entire energy tank with every hit.
Yeah, and there's this one, and then just like, yep, I'm just gonna take the secret way out, and oh look, they don't know where I've gone, so just nothing's here now.
That glass tube's important. Remember, chat.
Yep. If you know Metroid games, you know why glass tubes are important, and if you don't, you will learn very quickly.
In Shazodia proper now.
Yep, and now for this room, I'm gonna just kind of wait a second for this light to bounce a certain way, and now I just make my jumps. Okay, that's fine. We'll just wall jump from the other side. It's fine. I am still making this look a lot easier than it actually is. There's a lot of stuff that can go wrong. There's a lot of ways you can get caught. There's a whole thing known as perfect stealth. Perfect stealth, oddly enough, is actually slower. Ooh, that was not great, but that's fine. Okay, you know what? That's fine.
That eyeball gave some spoilers for later because Screw Attack destroys all those platforms.
Yeah, that is definitely like the thing that'll help us later. Also, we're gonna slow down right there, but that's okay.
Yeah, the alarm was already tripped, but that one pirate in the nook is intended to really catch you off guard and get you activated for this segment. Yeah,
there's actually a way around that too, because you can shoot a couple of blocks, ledge grab, and then you can hit them with a diagonal shot. It's actually surprisingly safe. But because of that, what I'm gonna have to do instead is pop in here real quick, pop back out, and oh look, we're fine now. Also, something French chozos. every time I see it. Now this one's actually intentional. This one we do actually get ourselves caught because it is much slower to actually wait. We're also pretty much at the end of this section anyways. So I'm just gonna stun these two and run past them.
I'm just glad that Samus can still wall jump with no suit.
She is surprisingly acrobatic without it. Like, if anything, she probably has an easier time. It's also why she can ledge grab, and why we needed power grip, because have you tried to, like, grip something like that with one hand?
Yeah, and if you haven't played this game, you do have to have this pistol charged up all the way to stun a pirate. If you just use the regular shots, it literally doesn't do anything. That's that flashing bar underneath her health.
Yeah, it's also the same for the God of War. When we actually have to hit the symbols, that is also, it has to be fully charged, otherwise it doesn't do anything. Which is actually coming up. So yeah, we get to like the kind of the inner sanctum of this place. Here is kind of this mural, and like I said, you have this thing in the center called the God of War. Unofficially, we call him Charlie. I don't know why. I just like I started running this, and I heard Charlie, my beloved, and then I learned, oh yeah, this is apparently it.
Charlie's a great name.
It honestly is. But yeah, the whole thing about this is you'll see kind of a reflection of ourselves, and right now this is just kind of the teach you how to fight this, and you'll see the symbol, we shoot the symbol, and now I'm gonna start moving, because if I don't move, the God of War will zap me where I stand, and so I need to stay moving, or else I get electrocuted. And while I am doing this, I have to wait for this thing to change symbols, hit fire a shot at it, hopefully don't miss said shot, or mistime it, because it's a limited time. Now, by the way, he's gonna start zapping me anyway from the ground, and we're gonna see if I get lucky. And oh wow, we got very lucky on that one, because Charlie can absolutely just heck you for a while, by like timing those to show up right as the bolt goes down, and so you don't have time to do dodge and shoot it.
Yeah, that's really good luck.
Yeah. And for our efforts, we basically did a magical girl sequence, and we get to find out what our items were. By the way, there's a Vario suit for some reason.
Yeah, and the game actually counts that as you having actually collected the very
Yeah.
suit. So it's still sitting down there where you could get it, but you don't need to.
You don't need to. The game doesn't give you like 101%, so it's not worth it. But yeah, you can totally grab it again. But yeah, now we are fully equipped, and now we can actually start defeating these instead. So yeah, you remember how the space pirates were kind of a threat? Yeah, they're not a threat anymore. They're just kind of there.
Yeah, and because of having the gravity suits and all the other items that go with this, Soul can really start the cleanup phase fully now.
Yeah, and alongside that, we are going to be grabbing a bunch of items on the way through Tresodia, because honestly, they're kind of on the way as it is. Otherwise, a lot of this is going to be ultimately a lot of running and gunning, especially once we get kind of further in, because we do need to get power bombs. We do need to get those, and that's going to be a little bit off and just kind of take some time. Honestly, right now at this point, a lot of what I described has kind of already been described, so if we've got any messages or any fun pronunciations for NARPAS / LARPAS / Lapras sword, or had potential descriptions of what the Lapras sword looks like, I imagine, honestly in my head, I just imagine like a Lapras, but it has like the sword like, you know, like Zacian has.
You know, I think that's probably accurate, but I would love to hear from chat if we're wrong. In the meantime, how about a Prevent-A-Thon history lesson?
That would be great.
Right? Yeah. So the first Prevent-A-Thon happened in June 2023. So that would be Prevent-A-Thon 1. And since then, we are now at Prevent-A-Thon 6. The event has raised $11,419 in support of Little Warriors. All of these previous events. And it's just, this event is getting bigger and better every time, and it's because we have you wonderful people in chat, and you wonderful people running and commentating, and all you wonderful people in Discord right now making sure that the place doesn't blow up. Everything's great. Everything is awesome.
Yeah, something. Tet's haunted. As somebody who's done a lot of Tet things, I am quite familiar. and that is why Tet team is best team. And also this particular pirate is being very mean, and I'm going to do that so they don't so they stop being mean. Don't worry, they're fine. They're just having a long rest. They're just having a long rest. You know how it is. You thought your day was fine, and then Samus comes along, and suddenly your day could be going a little bit better.
It's just one of those days, right?
Yep. Also, I forget the name of that enemy. In my head, they are just Daunt droids. Like, if you're familiar with Star Wars, like, you know those things. That's what it reminds me of every time I see them. Just weird trash can looking thing. They are there. I don't know if they're a friend, but they are there.
Yeah, and a couple of rooms back, you may have noticed the black. There's some more of them here. The black space pirates. Those are actually the ones that are not cannon fodder.
No, in fact, the only thing that can hurt them is the plasma beam. So we would have needed that at some point anyways. But even if you did find a way in here, which if you're playing the randomizer, there are certainly ways to get into Drussodia way earlier. That is the one thing you will need to beat the game, otherwise you're kind of stuck.
Yeah, and the unfortunate thing about the cleanup for 100% here is that there are a lot of places in other areas in the game that's just straight up, no way has been discovered to get around the fact you need power bombs to get the items.
Yeah, like oddly enough, just a surprising amount of you need power bomb to get power bomb, and so unless you find a way to go through walls effectively, yeah, good luck. You're gonna need them.
And this game is very stingy with the power bomb ammo pickups. There's not very many total.
No, I think it's what, like 16 total, 14.
Yeah, it's very low. They definitely do not want you being able to spam them.
Yeah, compared to Fusion, Fusion before this, where you have 70, I think it's like 74 total. Because you get them like halfway through the game. Anyway, there's power bombs. A bit of a heads up, there will be like a flash whenever I use these, like you're seeing right now. But they are very powerful. Most regular enemies will die immediately to them, and pretty much any bombable block, including power bomb blocks, will just kind of disappear once they're used. Yeah,
and it only starts you with 2 ammo for them, which is like so low.
Yeah, granted, you do get the first expansion is like right there, like a room away, so you effectively really start with 4, but yeah, you need 2 of them to even get in there in the first place.
And just like other Metroid games, not all enemies will drop power bomb ammo. Only certain specific enemies will. So if you find yourself needing power bombs to get an item pickup and you've used them all already, there might not be a way for you to get them close by, which can be, you got to manage that.
Yeah, more accurately, they're actually just kind of really rare. So you're not usually going to see them too often. You know what? I'm gonna do it this way. And then we can bomb this block, drop down, and very conveniently get across. And now we're gonna make our way back down and out of here, because honestly, this ship has been very stuffy, and we just kind of need some fresh air. You know how it is. So we're gonna make our way outside. Use my last power bomb to actually very conveniently get over here, and then we're just gonna drop on down. Do that on purpose, by the way. Again, we don't really care about stealth anymore, but I mean, what are they gonna do to us, honestly? and just be safe very conveniently. The other thing these save points do is also replenish all of our ammo, so we also get full power bombs back, which, by the way, we are definitely going to need. And I'm going to roll under this because we never activated it in the first place, and otherwise, if I don't do that, we will activate it, and I'll be slightly sad.
Yeah, that is a really nice feature of this game, that the save points refill all of your energy and ammo, which is not the case in some other Metroid games.
No, and those are the only ones that actually do. So we're gonna hit that power bomb there, and very conveniently hit this one, and there we go. We got our fresh air back inside. But you know how it is, like if you have like a pet or something, where it's like, okay, the pet wants out, let them out, and then the pet like 2 minutes later is like scratching at the door, like, please let me in.
They want to be outside, but not like that.
Yeah. And that's Samus. She wants to be outside, but not like that, so she goes right back inside. Yeah, also very conveniently, these space pirates are also very susceptible to friendly fire and take themselves out with their own weapons in one hit.
But yeah, we didn't even mention that earlier.
It doesn't.
They can destroy blocks too. Yeah.
Yeah, it doesn't come up much as one, they can destroy blocks and everything, but yeah, they can also attack themselves by accident, and it is admittedly a little humorous because they actually do a surprising amount of damage. Anyways, we mentioned glass tube earlier. It is time for the glass tube. So I'm gonna just come here, do this. Wait a second. Oh no, it broke. And I mistimed that. That's unfortunate. That's fine. We will have to do the backup trap, but that is fine. So what I wanted to do is set up a shine spark so I could have just immediately got the energy tank there, but since I didn't do that, we're gonna do it this way. Also, very rare power bomb drop. But yeah, instead we have to do it this way, and that's fine. We did our tank, and then we go right back down. And very conveniently, this will actually lead us out of here. Yeah, by the way, unfortunately, I still need to replenish them anyway, because it does not give us that many power. The power bomb pickup only gives us one. Doesn't really help us, if I'm being honest. And then we have this room, which is a little annoying, because you'll notice I was just kind of firing like that. This is why. There is a hidden spot here. This game is devious. This is an easy one to miss. I have definitely missed this in a run, and then I had to do a 99% run instead. It's a whole thing. Unironically, there's actually a category extension for 99% in this game. I don't know why, if I'm being honest, but it's there and it's fun. It's funny that it exists. Actually, no, you know what? I could think of two reasons. I did think of two reasons. One, the final boss. Because I did mention before, yeah, the final boss actually gets stronger if you're doing a 100% run. If you do it normally, the final boss takes 5 super missiles and doesn't really do a whole lot of damage. If you're doing 100% explicitly, the final boss takes 17 super missiles to take down and also does triple damage. So instead of it doing like 50 damage a hit, it does 150 a hit. And I can imagine for some people, they just don't want to deal with that, and honestly, that's valid. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. And that is probably one reason for 99% existence. The other reason, and honestly, I can't say I blamed them either. Having a run where you did everything but miss one item, and you're just like, I'm finishing this anyway. By the way, I made that look really easy. No, it's not.
Yeah.
No, it's not. You
Diagonal
gotta.
sparking is very tough. Period.
Yeah, and you have to set up like a bunch of these slopes so you can get across. Otherwise, you have to start over from like a way earlier room. It's a whole thing. So the fact I got that first try, honestly, really good, but definitely not the easiest one to do.
Yeah, this game has a lot of very tough shine spark tricks. Like, they're tough even if you do them the way the devs intended you to, much less the way speedrunners are doing them.
Yeah, that's actually going to be included in this one coming up, because there's also one other thing you can do with Speed Booster, and it is called the Space Boost, where you just jump in the air repeatedly with Space Jump and carry it that way. It is really difficult, and there is one expansion in this game that actually requires it, and it's the one I'm about to get. Again,
Green acid, by the way.
Yeah. Also,
its only appearance in Metroid still hurts you with gravity suit.
Yeah, apparently, lemon lime Kool-Aid is not. Oh, that was almost bad. By the way, again, dev intended solution. That's what they wanted you to do, is space boost across and actually get it that way. But we're done. We only have 2 items here, so we can just leave. But yeah, as you can see, Turian has seen better days. Surprised it's still standing after, you know, the self-destruct sequence occurred. By the way, we're actually done with supers now. I can finally switch off of them for the time being.
Is now a good time to jump in?
Definitely.
Awesome. I want to remind you all that we do have an incentive open right now for Time Spinner. Time Spinner is going to be a little bit later this evening, and this incentive will randomize the bosses required to win the game. And actually randomize all of them, because why not? We're randomizing. Let's just randomize all the things. But not just that. Boss scaling will be turned on, so bosses will be more difficult the further into the game they are. So that is $100 incentive that we need to get. And we have $5 from Alara, who says, wait, hold up? We have an open incentive that makes the run harder for the runner? Sign me up, heck! Consider this the start of a $5 dono train. Pretty please, chat? Thanks, Alara, for getting things started with that incentive.
Do it.
Choo-choo!
Yeah, speaking of items that we couldn't get before, yeah, we were never going to be able to do the full clear of this area first try because we actually needed gravity. Also, there's still a couple more ball sparks that we'll see in the run after this one. But that one's kind of a neat little, like, oh yeah, you can do that to just kind of get yourselves up.
Chat, you should be hitting the donate button like Zebes is blowing up.
Yes, please. Please.
I do like that in Super Metroid, they had to show us the entire planet blowing up just to say, look, really, it really blew up this time.
It's also kind of funny with this one, because, like, his Super came out way before this remake did. And so the remake, you know, obviously does stuff to kind of tie into Super, which makes sense. But it is very humorous considering it's like, we have to show, like, no, things are okay, actually. By the way, that's it for trade. We are actually done with trade, and now we are very conveniently going into Norfair through a little secret passage. And it very conveniently puts us around a couple of energy around a couple of things that we couldn't get before. Technically, we could have gotten the one of these. Except,
this is a lot of lava, though.
There's a lot of lava, and it's very hard to survive that, and even then, you still can't get both items. One, you wouldn't be able to, you wouldn't have to health for it, but two, one of them is a power bomb. And wants you to have gravity so you can actually get up to it.
Yeah, as much sequence breaking is possible in like the early and mid game of this game, there are some things that this game just insists upon you having, for sure.
Yeah, late game is definitely one of those, and I am going the wrong way. Not a big deal, just kind of like, oh yeah, I should be going over here, actually. Then we're gonna kind of do a little bit here, because it's a bit of a sequence. And now we just go all the way across.
Which is intended. They put the speed blocks there.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, that's the other thing is for all the stuff I'm doing that might be like a sequence break or doing it out of order. A lot of it is still also no. They actually did intend for this to be how you at least got to the thing. So it's kind of a fun mix of just, you know, different strats for different things, but also, yeah, some of this was, no, they actually wanted you to do this. This is what they expected out of you. And honestly, it ends up making for a really neat run. So I'm just gonna wait a second. Okay. And now we can get across just fine. Also, I'm gonna just briefly check. Okay, we are good on items. I have missed a tank here before and got to the end and then like, oh wait, why did the final boss die in like 2 seconds?
Oops.
Yeah, that's usually how I learn. It's like, oh, the boss is dead. I missed an item. Where do they miss it? And a lot of the time, it's somewhere in Norfair.
Yeah, and if I'm not mistaken, you can only see your item completion rate on the title screen, which would require you to quit out, which obviously is very slow.
You can see it through pausing, but only in the time attack mode, or if you beat the game. But if you do it from a cleared file, you'll see it. If you do it from a time attack file, which is what I'm doing, you'll see it anyways. But yeah, we're gonna make our way back to the top here.
And Chad, I want you to notice the one missing energy tank.
Yep, that will be very important. For now, though, we're going to do probably one of the neatest ball sparks in this run. Not the neatest, but one of them. So you remember this room where I had to do all that jumping? Yeah, we're not doing that. I'm just going to fast wall through. But like, it's all fun and games. So you see Samus coming at you like a giant softball, just ready to. Actually, I don't know how big she would actually be.
She's been launched like a potato gun.
Oh jeez. Yeah, a potato gun that could fire like a basketball.
Basically, every ball spark in this game looks so cool, and like some of them are really precise. Like you have to hit a very precise height on the ball spark to actually make it work.
Yeah,
which makes it very, very cool when you get.
Yeah, especially the one I did in Brentstar. That one you do have to do it from a certain spot, and if you don't do it from there, you just don't really do anything. You just only like bonk into like a slightly higher ledge. By the way, we're gonna actually end up doing a spark chain that we did earlier, because we actually have to do it a second time. But this time it's not to get the super missiles, it's actually so we can get back into Tresodia and also get an item.
Also, Tresodia has, what do you know, a power bomb pickup, which is like so far out of the way. It'd be so great if they hadn't put it there.
Yeah, that's not the worst part. Tresodia does have like a super out of the way item that we're gonna have to basically just go and get for no good reason. It's probably the third reason why 99% exists, because I am sure they have seen that and we're like, I'm not doing that. But yeah, we're kind of back in the Samus has to like kind of just run her way through here again and go super out of her way for an item. So if you got any messages, this is a good time for it. If there's any like other fun bits about Prevent-A-Thon, this is also a good time for them.
There are so many fun things about Prevent-A-Thon and how awesome y'all are, and Little Warriors. I could go on. I'm not going to go on all night, but since you asked, I will tell you a little bit more about Prevent-A-Thon. We appreciate every donation towards Little Warriors, but we also appreciate spreading the word of this worthy cause. If you're on social media, you can help out by sharing our social media posts and getting the word out about this event and Little Warriors. Type !socials in chat to get links to Prevent-A-Thon social media. And also take a look at the incredible work that the social media team is doing, because they have been coming up with some amazing memes that have me literally laughing out loud. Like, I can't be scrolling the Prevent-A-Thon Bluesky and hosting at the same time, because then I would just be laughing too hard to actually say anything useful on mic.
I would say there might be ways around that, but I wouldn't recommend them. I wouldn't recommend it. Besides, it gives you stuff to laugh at afterwards.
Exactly, yeah. Well, you know, finishing hosting, watching some more of the amazing runs we have coming up later on, scrolling through socials. It's gonna be a good time. That's gonna be the rest of my evening.
Exactly.
Yeah. I'm gonna unwind from how stressed out I am watching how incredible you are at this run, because I'm just like, oh my god, I'm just not gonna make a jump. Oh my god, that jump is stressing me out, and you're just...
Imagine time spinner later.
Yeah, especially if we manage to make it harder for the runner. I hope that we get those donations in to see that incentive be met.
But I need to play that game more, but... As somebody who has also played a bunch of Castlevania and knows about Time Spinner being inspired by probably one of the harder entries, yeah, Time Spinner is no joke.
and we have the power to make it even more of a no joke. That is not grammatically correct, but I hope you know what I'm saying.
The intent is there.
Yeah, that totally made sense, right?
And if it didn't, well, you can tell us down in the donations.
There's an idea. Yeah, if I'm not making any sense, then you should put in a donation and tell me why I'm not making any sense. That's a good idea.
And there should be our last power bomb. So I know we've used a bunch right now, but that's fine. It's not really a big deal. In fact, I can double check. Yeah, we're good. So we should have just one more energy tank. And the reason I didn't get it yet is it's basically on the way to the end for reasons. So that is what we're going to be doing.
Yeah, and it is a really cool room.
Yeah, as soon as I can get up there. Unfortunately, it does take a little bit. We can't Shine Spark up much as I would love to. That would be such a cool way to go back up again, but it is what it is. But we are really rapidly getting towards the end of this, aside from, you know, the incentive. Which, by the way, thank you again for that happening, because you will not be disappointed in it, let me tell you. But in the meantime, we gotta get ourselves back up to where the power bombs were. Not for the power bombs. This time we're actually going to the end like we were going to in the first place. So I'm just kind of. There ain't a whole lot of this run left. There ain't a whole lot of this run left. I am just gonna be schmoovin' at this point, which I was kind of doing that anyways. By the way, this room is going to be a lot faster than last time, so I'm gonna do this. Plant a power bomb here. And as soon as I do that, look, I get through the whole room now. We don't have to worry about that whole sequence.
Yeah, it's weird that, like, it's pretty wild this game lets you just go to the end right after you get power bombs. You could go and not get any other power bomb ammo at all because it's all
you don't even have to get those ones. Like, power bombs are actually fully optional. You can just never grab them. Just like, oh, I'm up here now, and then you just go up here towards the end if you want.
Not even a single power bomb door.
Yep, there is none. So if you don't want, if you're just like, I just want to finish it, you can do that. You don't have to get these. Unfortunately, this room is kind of mean. So the speed booster blocks, you have to like jump in a certain way to get through them. Oh, okay, we got that first try. Nice. And what it wants you to do from here is basically what I like to call Flappy Bird, which I guess it makes sense. Samus is, you know, part Chozo and everything, so she is part bird. Yeah, we're not doing that. Cause you just saw all these wires. If I hit any of them, that door closes. I can't get the energy tank, and then I have to reset the room. It is a whole thing.
The devs deliberately put those laser emitters at a height to deliberately stop you from doing a straight line spark there, but not if you drop it first.
Yeah, you have to go down a little bit and then you're fine. But anyways, surprise, Ridley is still around. Now he's mechanical and making a lot of noises that suggest they might want to add some oil. And if you've done this right, this will take a lot of supers to take down. Okay, good. We got 100%. I had to tell you he didn't go down immediately. Ooh, a little unfortunate on those. That's okay.
Yeah, they tried to make it harder, but still a lot of ammo and E10s for this.
And that's it. Really, like ESC has encountered an error and needs to close.
You liked Escape 1, but how about Escape 2?
Yeah, we had first escape, but what about second escape? So yeah, for our efforts, Mecha Ridley, that is the actual name for that boss, explodes. And now we have to leave this place and, you might remember, we don't have a gunship. How are we getting out of here? Don't worry, we'll find a way. That said, time
passed that way several times already.
Yeah, that said, time will be coming up within a couple of minutes here.
Is there time for a quick donation? Before,
Definitely.
Okay, we have $1 from Alara. If you didn't make any sense, then let me donate $1. This dono is in honor of Cubs and his love of puns.
Oh my god.
The first time I read that to myself before reading it on air, I read it as this dono is in horror of Cubs, and you know what? I think both work.
That was actually very good on getting rid of that enemy.
Yeah, that was
the
close.
intended way you deal with that. So there's a couple ways you can do this. I'm gonna do this kind of the simpler way and just break the blocks, drop down. This is the whole sequence. I only did one attempt at doing this. So if I mess it up, it's, you know, we're just gonna have to do it the slow way. But let's see. Got it.
Yeah, those slopes help you, are basically the way you can stop your charge, and that's really tricky and at the exact right height there.
Yeah, if you do it right, you just go all the way through like a third of this whole sequence. And then we just kind of
kill some of these pilots here. The Spec Ops guns, they take so many shots.
All right, and then time is now. Not too bad, just a little under 130. Also as an aside, since this is on NSO/Nintendo Classics, the frame rate's a little bit off. So like it's like a 30-second difference roughly. Between actual frame rate, but we're not done. We still have the incentive. We still have our incentive, so we'll be doing that. We can pretty much do that right now. I could let this whole thing finish, but honestly, I think we just go ahead and get into it. Pretty much all you would miss here is like the credits, and then like a little screen that's like, here's your rate for completion. Here's how long it took you. But I think.
Yeah, it is. But it is nice that the final boss just confirms that you got 100% just because it takes the right amount of hits.
Yeah. So I'm just gonna do that. By the way, you'll see our last save was actually back in Warfare, because that's when we actually did one. If I didn't save anywhere else, there would have been nothing. But yeah, we're gonna do this, and I'm also gonna make sure I do one other thing on my own. There we go.
Thank you everyone in chat who donated to see this incredible incentive. This is going to be super fun to watch. The LMMotoss sword. So as you can see, Soul is putting in that password now, and this is going to be, it is going to go by so quickly. So we are behind schedule, so if you have any shout outs to make before the end, it's a good time to do so.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
But yeah,
can't wait to see
just
this.
while we didn't start it then. So first of all, 3, 2, 1, go. And I guess for some Twitch shout outs while we get this started, honestly, I think the big one is probably to one that's been in my chat a bunch, and in others, Nair. She is the reason I ended up learning the run. She did a challenge redeem on my channel where it was get 100% under a certain time, but also do perfect stealth. And I was able to actually pull it off. Fun fact, I beat the challenge before I actually finished learning the run, because I thought the run would give me like a fighting chance. No, turns out I was better at this than I thought it was, and then I ended up actually learning the run. Unfortunately, I've not been able to really get my PB down in some time. It's like just under 1 hour 25. That is accounting for the frame rate difference, by the way. By the way, this run is also kind of double sacrilege. So I mentioned, like, oh yeah, the GBA runs at a the NSO version runs at a slightly higher frame rate because it's a little bit faster. So an actual NES runs a little bit over 60 FPS, and the NSO version runs at exactly 60. So not only is it running way slower than an actual NES would, it is also not running as slow as it would on an actual GBA. So, you know, we have definitely done a thing. Anyways, I didn't actually describe what this thing does. So, what NARPAS SWORD does is we are sorted with every item in the game. So, like, I have screw attack and anything that you could ever need to actually get around. But also have infinite health and infinite missiles. So, I know the game says I don't have missiles. No, we have missiles. We very much have them. This does cause some weirdness, though. If something was to, like, do a missile drop, which the Metroids can, so that's something I have to watch out for while actually doing this. And hopefully this drop will actually play nice. This drop kind of isn't at the moment. Okay, there we go.
It's been years. It's been years since I watched a regular Metroid speedrun, much less one that's inside Zero Mission. So I'm not sure what to expect here, but that's a like a well-known trick, the door clip there.
Yep, and we use that to get ourselves into Turian immediately. Unfortunately, that rock can be really hard to, like, get where you need them to. But also our health. Like I said, we have infinite health, so our health cannot go above... Ooh, okay. That was kind of close. If those are on me, I can still get them off, but they are way harder to get off in this game compared to the original, compared to Zero Mission. But yeah, most of what we're doing now is I'm going to be freezing these Metroids as I go through, so that way I don't have to worry about them. That way I don't have to hurt them at all. In fact, you don't have to kill any of them in this compared to Zero Mission. Zero Mission actually does make you fight them. But they also made them way easier to deal with. But yeah, we only have like 2 more rooms, and then we're just doing the mother brain part again. So this is probably like one of the last good times for like any messages while I'm making my way through here. You know, making my way downtown, moving fast, something.
And now that's going to be stuck in my head for the rest of the night. So thanks for that. Yeah, thank you so much. Just to tell you a bit more about our charity, Little Warriors. Little Warriors is a national charitable organization dedicated to changing the trajectory of child sexual abuse through education, advocacy, treatment, and prevention.
Okay, there we go. Now we're nice and safe, and we can start finishing this. So here we go. This is the final room. Well, I just said in the last room of the run. But like I said, we do none of the things because we start with almost all of them. And now for this whole sequence. This sequence is a little bit annoying at times. Just because of the way we have to do it by comparison. So like I'm just trying to jump in here to make sure I can hit them a little bit more safely. And thankfully I'm getting good luck with both the shots and the rinkas. So I'm not getting bounced around too much.
Yeah, and the lag from the rinkas is excruciating.
Oh yeah, it's also very laggy compared to Zero Mission, which is like the main game, which is like no lag. I am stuck in here, so that was unfortunate. That's okay. And now I'm just trying to like run myself into this, hold B, and eventually Mother Brain will just go down. But that's it. This is how we do the fight by comparison. We don't have to worry about health. We don't have to worry about anything hitting us. We just kind of keep going into it until eventually one of us goes down, and well, she doesn't have infinite health. And that's it. I should have warned there was also a flashing light thing. That is on me. But yeah, that's it. Now we're getting the head. Now we're done. We're getting the heck out of here. Now for the escape. You remember how we did it in Zero Mission, and unfortunately we don't have Speed Booster didn't exist yet. That wasn't a thing until Super. So instead, what we're going to be doing is kind of jumping almost straight up into this set of platforms. But time will be coming very quickly, because once I get to the elevator, that is actually it.
Yeah, those straight up jumps without the screw attack, the space jump going, it's like every scrap of height that you can get out of the jump.
And time. That's it. That's NARPAS. It is a very short run. It's also a very funny run.
That was great. Thank you so much for showing that to us. Thank you so much, chat, for making it so that Soul could show this off. I think you did your shoutouts already.
I did. I guess as far as like where you can find me though, twitch.tv/BeamQueenSoul. I'm generally more of a Kirby speedrunner. I do a lot of that. But I have been dabbling into GBA, Metroids, and just playing platformers in general. So I do a bunch of things. So yeah, if that sounds fun, feel free to follow. And/or because of the talking Eevee, I guess. What about you, Motos? Where can people find you?
I'm LMMotoss pretty much everywhere. So you know, find me. I don't stream very often, but you can find me at events like this pretty often.
Thank you both so much for being here. This was incredible. We do still have more runs to see for the rest of the night. We're going to take a quick break, so now's a great time to go and grab yourself some water, stretch out a bit, and when you come back, we'll be seeing some Rebel Transmute.